Good morning, students. Today we will study a new point which is very interesting, that is using debit and credit. We have learned the concept, that is dual aspect concept, and we know that every transaction in accounting is recorded in at least two accounts. It means total amount debited is always equal to total amount credited. Okay? Debit and credit. Debit, DEBIT, and credit. These are the two special terms used in accounting. It indicates whether the transactions are to be recorded in left hand side of the account or right hand side of the account. Account is very simple. अकाउंट हा अतिशय साधा असतो. साधारणतः तो इंग्लिश टी आकारासारखा असतो. अकाउंट इथे नेम ऑफ द अकाउंट असतं. नेम ऑफ द अकाउंट. दिस साइड इज लेफ्ट हँड साइड and this side is right hand side. Okay? When we enter in left hand side of the account, it is to debit this account, and when we enter credit side of any account, it is to credit this account. Okay? This is the meaning of debit and credit. There are various types of accounts. They are classified in various ways, and they taught us how we will debit which account and which account will be credited. Okay? Now we will learn that. वेगवेगळे प्रकारचे अकाउंट, कोणते अकाउंट ट्रान्झॅक्शन मध्ये डेबिट होतील आणि कोणते अकाउंट क्रेडिट होतील याचे रूल्स आहेत. ते रूल्स आपण आता बघणार आहोत. सी दिस रूल्स ऑफ डेबिट अँड क्रेडिट. देर आर टू अप्रोचेस. फर्स्ट इज मॉडर्न अप्रोच which is related to accounting equation concept. It is also called as American approach. And second is traditional approach, which is also called as British approach. First we will learn modern approach, that is American approach. Okay? In this approach, all the accounts are classified into 5 different categories. The categories are given here. All accounts are divided into 5 categories, that is assets, liabilities, capital, expenses and losses, incomes and gains. Okay? Now here two rules are given of debit and credit. These rules are given here. See the rules. This approach says that if there is increase in asset, expenses or losses, it should be debited, and decrease in asset, expenses, losses is credited. The meaning is that if due to any business transaction, if asset is increasing, that assets account should be debited. If expenses or losses are increasing, their account should be debited. If there is decrease in asset, expenses or losses, then their account should be credited. Understood? जेव्हा asset, expenses किंवा losses हे एखाद्या ट्रान्झॅक्शन मुळे इन्क्रीज होतात, त्यावेळेला त्यांचं अकाउंट डेबिट करायचं आहे, आणि ज्या वेळेला ते डिक्रीज होतात ट्रान्झॅक्शनमुळे त्यावेळेला त्यांचं अकाउंट क्रेडिट करायचं आहे. ओके? नाउ द सेकंड रूल. Increase in liabilities, capitals, income and gains is to be credited, and decrease in liabilities, capital, incomes and gains is to be debited. It is given here. See the rule. Increase in liabilities, capital, incomes and gains is credited. Means due to the business transaction, if there is increase in the amount of liabilities or capital or incomes and gains, then their account is to be credited, and if there is decrease in their amount, then their account is to be debited. Okay? Understood? Let's revise. These two rules are given according to the modern approach, that is also called as American approach. First we will learn this approach. First rule is given here. Increase in asset expenses and losses is to be debited. Decrease in asset expenses and losses is to be credited. Okay. Then the second rule. Increase in liabilities, capital, incomes and gains is to be credited, and decrease in liabilities, capital, incomes and gains is to be debited. Okay. We can write this in this way. If assets, expenses and losses increases, then they are to be debited. This is in short form to revise. And if there is decrease in assets, expenses and losses, it should be credited. Okay. And second rule tells us that if there is increase in liabilities, capital, incomes and gains, if there is increase in liabilities, capital, incomes and gain, then it should be credited. And if there is decrease in liabilities, capital, incomes and gains, it should be debited. Okay. Now we will learn some examples of applying this rule to some transactions for deciding debit and credit of the transactions. See, I will take one example of a transaction. Let's take the first transaction, that is started business in cash, rupees 50,000. This is a business transaction. Okay. Now by applying these rules, that is this approach, we will decide debit and credit of the accounts involved in this transaction. Okay. In this transaction, we have solved this transaction by solving accounting equations. So we know two accounts are involved in this transaction. First is cash, because cash is the asset which is coming into the business, and second account is capital account. Because the owner is invested something into the business, so capital is created, which is the liability of the business towards the owner. Okay, these two accounts are involved in this transaction. Now see, cash is an asset, so this is an asset, and capital is capital. Now we will apply this rule to these accounts. This rule says that assets, expenses, losses, if increases, it should be debited. Okay. See here, the owner is invested cash into the business. Means you have to think from the point of view of the business. From the point of view of the business, cash is coming into the business. It means cash, this asset of business is increasing. Okay. So there is increase in this asset, so we will write increase. Okay. And this rule says that increase in assets is to be debited. So we have to debit this account, cash account. This is the short form of debit, the word debit. Now capital. For deciding debit or credit of capital, we have to apply second rule. This rule says that increase in liabilities, capital, incomes and gains is credited. Means if there is increase in capital, it should be debited. If there is decrease in capital, it should be credited. Okay. See here. As the owner is giving cash to the business, in the business capital is increasing. Okay. So capital also increases here. Understood? कॅश धंद्यामध्ये येते त्यामुळे धंद्यामध्ये 0 कॅश होती ती कॅश वाढली आहे म्हणून कॅश इन्क्रीजेस आहे म्हणून डेबिट झाली आहे. धंद्यामध्ये ओनरनी पैसे इन्व्हेस्ट केलेत. इट इज टर्म्ड ॲज कॅपिटल ऑफ द बिझनेस. सो कॅपिटल 0 होतं बिझनेसमध्ये आधी, ते बिझनेसमधलं कॅपिटल वाढलेलं आहे. सो कॅपिटल ऑल्सो इन्क्रीजेस अँड द रूल सेज दॅट इफ देर इज इन्क्रीज इन कॅपिटल इट शुड बी क्रेडिटेड. सो हियर वी हॅव टू क्रेडिट कॅपिटल अकाउंट. Okay, so in this transaction we have to debit cash account and credit capital account. Understood? Now we will take next example. See, any example we can take. So we will take purchase goods for cash. So second transaction, purchase goods for cash, rupees 20,000. Okay, rupees 20,000. See which are the two accounts are involved in this transaction. One is the goods are purchased for cash, so cash account, and second account is goods account. But when we purchase goods, we will call goods account as purchases account. You can also termed as goods for a while for better understanding. Okay, first account is cash account and second account is goods account. Now here we are purchasing goods worth rupees 20,000. When we purchase goods are coming into the business. It means goods are increasing and cash is going out from the business, so cash will be decreasing. Okay, so cash, this is an asset, it decreases due to this transaction, and goods also is an asset, it increases because goods are coming into the business. goods धंद्यात येत आहे त्यामुळे goods वाढत आहे, cash धंद्यातून जाते त्यामुळे cash कमी होते. Okay, now apply the rule both are assets, so we can apply first rule only. They told us that increase in asset should be debited, decrease in asset should be credited. Here cash is decreasing and goods are increasing. Increase in asset is debited, so goods account should be debited, that is purchases account should be debited and cash account should be credited. Okay, understood? And now we will take next example. We can take example of any expense. See, paid rent rupees 2,000. This is the transaction. Think about these transaction which accounts are involved. There are two accounts involved in this transaction. Which are those accounts? First is rent account and second is cash account. Okay, as when we are paying rent, one account will be rent account, and paying rent means we are actually paying cash, so second account will be cash account. Okay, now cash account is our asset, we know that already now. And rent, as we are paying rent is our expenses, so rent is our expenses. Okay, now for this rule we can for this transaction we can apply first rule only, because rent is expense and cash is asset, so we can apply only first rule. They told us that increase in asset, expenses and losses is to be debited and decrease in asset, expenses and losses is to be credited. Okay, so here paid rent is our expense. As we are paying rent, our rent, that is our expense, is increasing, so it increases. And as we are paying some cash, our cash is decreases. Okay, so According to the first rule, increasing asset expenses and losses is to be debited. So rent account should be debited and decrease in asset should be credited. So cash account should be credited. Okay. Now we will take one more example. Some different example we will take. See, borrowed rupees 25,000 from bank. Borrowed rupees 25,000 from bank. Okay. Borrowed म्हणजे कर्ज घेतलंय बँकेकडून, फ्रॉम बँकेकडून 25,000 रुपीज कर्ज घेतलेलं आहे असं ट्रान्झॅक्शन आहे. दिस इज ए बिझनेस ट्रान्झॅक्शन. ओके. बिझनेसनी बँकेकडून 25,000 रुपयाचं कर्ज घेतलेलं आहे. In this transaction, there will be two accounts. We are borrowing rupees 25,000 from the bank, means one account should be cash account. Okay, and other account should be bank loan account. Bank loan account. When we borrow rupees 25,000 from the bank, our cash increases. And at the same time, new liability will be created, which is namely bank loan. Okay. If we borrow the amount from some person, that is from Amit, then one account will be cash account and other account will be Amit's loan account. Okay. So here this account is bank loan account and first account is cash account. Now we all know that cash is our asset and bank loan, the new liability is created into business. So bank loan is our liability. Okay. See, I have explained already this transaction to you that when we borrow something, our cash is increasing. So cash increases. The rule says that increase in asset is to be debited. Okay. So we have to debit cash account here. And now second account is liability. The rule says that here new liability is created after this transaction. It means our liabilities are increasing. Okay. So liability also increases here. And the second rule says that increase in liability is credited. Okay. So we have to credit bank loan account here. So cash account should be debited, bank loan account is to be credited. Understood? Learn all the entries carefully. Okay. That's all for today.